Hi, my name is Ildiko Stennis, and I'm excited to celebrate Ella's 6th birthday with all of you today. Ella requested that we do a princess painting, but it could be a princess or a prince. And I'm going to move the camera back just a hair so that you can see both the finished picture and the white paper. So let's first start with talking about supplies. You're going to need a thick watercolor paper. I like Canson watercolor paper, which looks like this. You will also need a Sharpie. You will need some watercolor paints, of course, a pencil to draw, and some brushes. You will also need a container for water. So I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes to make sure you have all your supplies. It's very windy today in the backyard. All right then, give me a thumbs up if you have your watercolor paper. Give me a thumbs up if you have your pencil to draw and your Sharpie to make dark lines. Good job. Give me a thumbs up if you have your paint, your water, and brushes. Last but not least, don't forget to have a paper towel or a napkin handy because you'll have to dry off your brush from time to time. All right, so right here we see this beautiful princess, or you can make it a prince picture, and it's actually very simple to make. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you see it up close a little better. Awesome. All right, the first thing that we need to do is make this lovely crown. And crowns come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. It's important to not be afraid to make mistakes because you can always erase. Now you're probably going to be drawing with pencil, which is what I recommend. The only reason I'm drawing with Sharpie is that you can see it, okay? You're gonna be doing it in pencil. So the first thing is we're gonna do a line across. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then from there, I'm gonna turn it into a crown. I'm gonna do a line on this side and a line on this side. And from there, I'm just going to make that shape of a crown. Good job. And you might want to put some decoration on your crown. Like maybe you want to do another little line. Perfect. Very nice. And maybe you want to add some pattern. I'll add circles. Sometimes they would decorate the gold and do engraving. Sometimes they would add big jewels, which we will be able to paint in. Good job. Give you a minute or two to finish up your lovely crown for your princess or your prince. Remember, we're doing it in pencil, and I'm going to have you go over your lines with Sharpie after you're happy with your pencil. Awesome. All right. So we are going to do our next step, which is so simple. Well, first of all, when I look at this princess, her chin right here is about halfway of the page. If I measured with my hand, this and this is about halfway. So I'm going to do the same thing that I'm doing here. This is the same distance. I'm going to do the same thing over here from the top of my paper to the bottom is about the same. So I'm going to make a little mark here so I know where the bottom of her chin will be. And then we're going to make a shape that is the letter U. This letter U is going to start up here at the crown. It's going to come down, make the letter U, and come back to the crown. Let's all do it together. A nice, beautiful U shape. Awesome. Alrighty then. Now we're going to make eyes. First you do a little crescent and a crescent. Then you make this part. Good job. It doesn't really look like a princess yet. We have some work to do. And then you're going to do the eyes. Do a circle with a circle for the eyes. The eyes look like an almond, if you've ever eaten an almond, with a circle in it. Good job, looking good. All right, this princess is lacking eyelids, so let's give her some eyelids. So we're just gonna go a little bit past and a little bit past. Now she's got eyelids. But she's missing eyebrows, so let's give her some eyebrows. Excellent. This is coming along beautifully. And we're going to make her nose go to about here. We're going to carry it down as a straight line, make kind of like a U and go back up. Connect with the eyebrows, and we're going to make her eyebrows a little thicker. She has beautiful eyebrows. Make them the same on both sides, same thickness. Okay, and eyelashes. Good job. The circle in the middle of the eye, that's called the pupil. That's going to be dark. If you look at your eyes in a mirror, you'll notice that your iris might have a color. It might be blue, it might be green, it might be brown. But in the very middle, you have the pupil of the eye, and that's going to be black. And that pupil gets big or small depending on how much light there is in the room. All right, you're doing awesome. Now, Ella's princess needs a mouth. And we're going to give her a pouty princess mouth. Okay, you're going to go about halfway between the tip of the nose and the chin. And we're going to make a line. Maybe turn it up just a hair. She'll have a slight smile. And we want to give this princess nice full lips so she can kiss her prince. So we're going to do an upside down M and then a U. I also forgot to give her nostrils, so we want to put a little nostril here and a little nostril there. How are you doing? Is it starting to look like a princess? I think so. All right. The next thing that we're going to work on is the neck and shoulders. And she's wearing a cape, which is actually pretty common for princesses. I'm just going to come down here with her neck, give her shoulders. You want to make sure the shoulders are about the same height, otherwise it would look silly. And then go down. And we'll work on the rest in a minute. All right, she's missing hair. And you need to decide if you want this princess to look like you. If you have blonde hair, you might want to put blonde hair. If you have short hair, you might want to do it short. Some of you have curly hair. Some of you have straight hair. Some of you have brown hair, red hair. There's so much diversity in hair. So you have a choice. You can either make a made-up princess or prince, or you can choose to make this princess or prince resemble you, looking like your type of hair. It's totally up to you. So my last princess, I painted her hair brown and I gave her curly hair. I think this time I'm going to give a princess with kind of little bangs popping out from underneath the crown. And I think I'm going to give this princess kind of fun hair. Kind of layers. Oh, that's fun. Maybe short hair this time. And this time I'm going to do hair like this. You can do your hair any way that you want. It doesn't really matter. This time I gave her layers. Okay. With a little bit of spiky bangs coming out. Every princess looks different. Some princesses have freckles, so if you want to add freckles to your princess, you can. Or your prince. Sometimes they might have a mole. Add a mole in for this princess. Okay. Now, let's talk about what she's wearing. She's wearing a cloak. A cloak is kind of like a super long cape, almost like a superhero cape, but super fancy. So we're going to make the letter V, and then we're going to take that point right here, and then we are going to open it up. And from that point, we are going to make a U and another letter U. And maybe I'm going to connect that. I'll make it a pattern in her cloak. And maybe here I'm going to also have that pattern in the cloak. If you want your princess to wear jewelry, you can draw it in now. For example, last time I had a single one, a necklace. And I'm going to tell you about your choices to decorate. I made earrings on the princess. This time, I think I'm going to give her a pearl necklace. I think that would be super. Remember, if you make a mistake or you don't like something, you can erase that little part and redraw it. It's no big deal. I'm going to give you a few more minutes to wrap up your pencil drawing. And whenever you're done with your pencil drawing, I want you to find your Sharpie And then you're gonna go over all your pencil lines with black Sharpie. You're doing great. Let's go over those lines carefully with black Sharpie. If you take a little bit longer with drawing and outlining in Sharpie, you can pause the video right now and give yourself a chance to catch up. But I'm going to go ahead for those of you that are ready and talk about painting. For painting, you're going to need a watercolor brush. I suggest a small, a medium, and a nice big large one. And have your palette, your paper towel, and your water all ready to go. All right. So for the face, we need to think about skin color. Again, if you want this to resemble you, you might want to use the watercolor paints that resemble your skin color. And skin color comes in all sorts of colors depending on how much melanin is in your skin. And you inherit that from your parents. So the last one, I drew a very fair princess. I think this time my princess is going to have a little bit darker skin tone. But you do whatever skin tone that you want for the skin. It should match you. Okay. My princess has beautiful brown skin on this example. And because I went over it in Sharpie, it's no big deal. I can paint right over the Sharpie, but I want to keep the whites of the eyes because you can't fix it if you paint over the white of the eyes. So we just have to go around the white of the eyes. That's our only choice. Alrighty, this is turning out beautiful. She's got a very beautiful bronze skin, very tan. She has more melanin, that pigment in the skin, than this princess did. Very beautiful. All right. Try to blend it in, make it even, so we don't want uneven skin because that doesn't look quite as nice. All righty. Beautiful. And if you want to mix in a little pink, I have to be careful not to do it too strong. Give her, whoopsie, I'm dripping. I can give her a little pink on the cheeks. I think mine's running a little bit, but if it's running too much, you just grab your paper towel. You're probably doing it on a flat surface, so it's a little easier. Okay, perfect. And don't forget, you need to also color the neck. Now, if you want those pearls to stay white, you need to kind of go around them. Beautiful. Lovely. All right, now we need to think about hair color. Now, I made my princess this time have a slightly darker skin. So her hair would probably be darker because typically people with darker skin have darker colored hair. So last time I used kind of a reddish brown for my princess and she had very fair skin. This time I'm going to use a darker skin princess, and I'm going to do black hair. And more spiky hair this time. She's got a cute haircut. And if it bleeds into the face, you just get a paper towel. And we can go back with brown when it dries. No big deal. So we're just doing the base coat now. We're going to go back later when it's all dry and we're going to add detail. But we still need that base coat of hair. In this case, we're doing black. She's beautiful. Okay, we're going to need to wait for this base coat of hair to dry. And while we're waiting, we can paint other parts of the painting, like, for example, the crown. And crowns are typically made out of gold. The higher the gold content, the more orangey it is. Today we have 14 karat gold, which is a little bit more yellowish because they mix it with other metals, but in olden times, it had a higher content of gold and it was more orange. You can paint right over everything. I'm going to leave the circles out because that's where I'm going to paint jewels later when it dries. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. I like that you are sticking with it and that you are showing details and you're being creative. All right, beautiful. And then maybe I'll do a slightly different color of gold, orange, for this part, just to make it really pop. Great. Now you need to decide what color eyes your princess is going to have. And think about all the different colors of eyes that you've seen on your friends in your classroom. Eyes come in lots and lots of different colors. So pick some eyes. I'm going to make her eyes green this time. Wow, that really pops. Okay, hopefully that won't drip, otherwise it'll look like she's crying. Which I don't want her to be crying. I want her to be a happy princess. Okay, there we go. And then you might want to paint the lips. Maybe she's wearing just a tiny bit of lipstick. She has this nice pink color lips. All right, coming along beautifully. Now you need to think what color you want the robe. Now I painted my robe purple because purple is the symbol of royalty. But you don't have to do yours purple. You can do any color you want because you are designing this princess or prince. Since I did purple last time, I'm going to pick a different color today. I think I am going to do this nice bold red. lovely. That's awesome. Good job. Great. Every princess has her own personality. This needs to dry, and while we're waiting for it to dry, we can add some detail. If it's pretty dry when you touch it, that means you can go back with another layer to add the detail. And I try to not add too much water because I want to have it dark. This will let you do texture like in her hair. Whoops, I got the gold on there. Let me fix that. So anything that you do, you can always undo it. It's not a big deal. I'll leave it at that now. And now I'm going to add some detail here. Wow, that looks great. Some detail for her. And if it's almost dry, you can maybe add a little bit more to the eyes. The more layers of paint, the more bright and vibrant you're gonna get. All right, coming along beautifully. And you can put detail in her cloak. For example, let's say that I want to add maybe some stripes. Just something to make it more interesting. And maybe over here, some stripes in her nice cloak. And here. And maybe the part in the middle, we might do a slightly different color so it stands out a little bit more. Maybe I'll layer it with orange over it. So it looks like she's wearing a cloak over a beautiful dress. And the two colors blend beautifully. The final step is to paint a background. You do definitely want to make sure that it is fairly dry before you make a background. Otherwise, you might get some blending going on or some bleeding going on. So you can skip the background and leave it just pure white if you want to, and that looks absolutely beautiful. However, if you want to do a background, you are welcome to do that too, okay? Because I did a background on this one, I think I'm gonna skip the background on this one because I kind of like the way it looks with the white background. Okay, I'm gonna scoot this camera back. And I just wanna say, thank you so much for coming to Ella's 6th birthday. I hope you had fun drawing and painting a princess or a prince. And please take a picture of your masterpiece and send it to her mom so that she can have a collection and show her. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.